guys, we've been asked how do we get our dog so fluffy? So Cece's going to demonstrate. So the first important part is the brushing. This is before the bath. You want to make sure that there's no knots in the coat. So what Cece is doing is she's using any type of brush, but we use a slicker. So can you see how she's just doing that? Perfect. And now she will then turn over to her comb. So once she's done that, she's just going to double check and see how she's doing it in lines, and there's the coat's not getting stuck. Very important. So if there's an area where the comb is getting stuck, that means you've still got a lot of knots in the coat. So that is our brushing portion before the bath. We're going to then show you our bathing portion. Now this is the bath portion. Now the most important aspect is the wetting of the coat. Cece has shampooed twice and she's also going to condition once. Now the important aspect is using a brush in between each shampoo to make sure that you clean your coat and you separate your coat really well. So as you can see what Cece's doing, she's separating that coat
especially on ears and stuff because they're always greasy.
Yeah, so the dirty areas like the ears, the feet. The reason a coat doesn't straighten well is when it's super dirty or when there's still too much oil in the coat. So just slicker very lightly and rinse thoroughly. You do not want to be leaving any product on the coat. But see how Cece's slickering? Very important. Hello, my darling. So yeah, that's the bathing portion, guys. And what we are using, we love this product. It's the Melanie Newman Soothe range, and it is fantastic. So I will now show you the drying section. Guys, just wanted to quickly say this is another important part of a good bath, is letting the dog dry with a towel really well. Try not to rely just solely on a dryer, especially if you've got a nervous dog. Drying them really well with a towel is then going to allow you to dry that coat a lot easier. Rinsing off all the excess product. We did not leave any product, so you can actually feel the coat is super light, fluffy. So the cleaner the coat, the quicker your coat's going to dry. As you can see just by me towel drying, little pop here, like you can actually just feel it's nearly dry already, and that's because the coat is really clean. Now if you had a longer coat and you then wanted to add some extra product like conditioner sprays or anything like that, you would then add it now before you start drying the coat, and that will then help. But you don't leave product in you don't leave product in like a conditioner that's meant to be washed out. You need to rinse that out. Do not leave that in. They're different formulas, so yeah, you wash them out thoroughly and then utilize a formula that is made to be left into the coat. So now we will start the drying process. Quick little tip before you start drying is but just get your brush and see how I'm separating that coat. Just by you doing that, you're going to fluffen your coat. Stay pops. You're going to fluffen your coat up a lot easier, and it's also going to dry a lot quicker. So can you see how it's just separating that coat and it's fluffing that up? Okay. Now, if you don't have a dog grooming dryer, hey, turn around, Pop. That's fine. You can then just use your human dryer. But I'm going to show you with the dog grooming dryer first, and then I'll show you secondary with a human dryer. The only difference is it's going to take you a little bit longer. So if you had a human dryer, this is what you would do. Switch your human dryer on. You would just dry your coat. Don't worry about, brushing at the same time. Now switch your dryer off and just quickly slicker, okay? And you can already see, stay good girl. You can already see it's starting. It's starting to fluff up. Okay, it does take a lot longer, guys, but really it's just patience and doing it this way. Okay, now we'll do it more. Now, if you're really good, you can put this underneath like this. Okay, okay, and you can just see I'm maneuvering my body and just slick up and brush. Hang on, just like that, and just brush at the same time. All right. Now, I'm not very good at doing that, so I will stop doing that. But yeah, if you were good, you would do it like that. Or you could buy yourself an attachment that holds onto the table, and it will hold your dryer for you. So if you had an attachment that just holds your dryer for you, you could do that, and as you're doing that, you would just slicker that coat. That's really the best way to do it. Now I'm going to swap from that to now using a dog grooming dryer. If you had a dog grooming dryer, you'll dry your coat. So you don't want to dry it thoroughly though. You'd only do it to like 90%. It was drying to 90%. See how it dries that really easily? Your dryer off. Hey, Popstar. Good girl. And you would just slicker, okay? And you would continue doing this all over. Hey, Bubba. So the more straightened your coat is, the more it's going to last when it comes to keeping clean. It's going to be easier for you to brush. So, stay, Bubba. Good girl. That is just for a pet parent, okay? Now, if you want it to be really thorough and super, super, super straightening that coat, you would then need again to do it while you've got your dryer going with your slicker, okay? So now I'm going to just quickly swap back to my handheld, because this gives a bit more heat to the coat, which straightens that coat a lot more better. So now I'm going to swap. Stay, Pops. I'm going to use my comb, because my comb is going to separate my coat. It's all about separating your coat and just really straightening your coat. Stay, Popstar. It's good girl, Bubba. Stay. Good girl. Stay. So the prep work that we done prior, you know how we brushed really thoroughly, we cleaned really thoroughly, all that is going to then give you this beautiful finish. If you don't do all that correctly, your finish, you just won't get this beautiful finish. So it all is super, super important, guys, when you're fluffing your coat. So can you see that? That's how we get it fluffy. All right. So I hope that helps, guys. And then we'll show you how to do the face in a minute. I'm just going to finish Poppy's body and we'll then show how to do the face. All right. So I hope that helps, guys. Is usually the most hardest place, so be very gentle. You want to slicker that coat very lightly, that way it separates that coat before you start adding your dryer. And remember, just be patient with your dog, you know. It's not about scaring them. It's also about teaching them how to enjoy the dryer. Okay, so Cece's gonna show you in a minute. Okay, so we've just slickered that. Now, handheld dryer, okay? We're not gonna use high V. Warm setting, and we're gonna go from the front and the muzzle only at the moment, okay? Now the more you manipulate that away from the eyes, the more it will sit that way. So it's sort of like when you're doing your own hair, you want to manipulate it away from the eyes. So I'm going to stop, get my comb, I'm going to comb, okay? And that's just going to separate that hair and allow us to now start the straightening process. And this is the way you do it without scaring your dog, okay? There's no rocket science involved. It's just simple, having respect for your dog and not letting them be scared. So I'm going to go from the side because I want to give some height. I'm going to do the same from this side. If your dog is no good with this, guys, it's all about starting with the training first, okay? So if your dog was no good, you would just go more from a distance. And then as they get better, you can go closer and closer. So when I was training Poppy, it'd be literally from a distance like this, okay? And then I would slowly get closer and closer and closer. Make sure your airflow is not directly in there. So you don't want to be directly in their nose. It's all about watching your airflow and making sure your dog is comfortable. Some dogs don't like it directly in their face, and you'll just know who doesn't and who does. The ones that don't like it directly in their face, you go from underneath like this. Just by you going from underneath can dramatically change the outcome of the dog's personality towards the dryer. Alright? So now I'm just going to go from behind. Now, that's using this dryer. If you had a fluff dryer or a handheld hands-free dryer, you can now use your hands-free dryer, and then you'll just start combing. You'll start combing and slickering with your hands-free dryer. That is the quickest reform. And the more you comb, the more it straightens that coat. And I'm just going to go from this side. So really those are the tips to getting your dog fluffy, guys. Now if you wanted to add, once we straighten this dog, if you wanted to add curls back, all you would do is you would then rehydrate the coat with a little bit of a spritz of water. Good girl, mama. Alright, so we're just going to go, we're making sure we're combing in every aspect. The reason I'm using a comb is because it's less stressful for the dog. I'm just going to now get my brush. I'm just going to do the ears. Sorry, Bob. And I'm trying to manipulate that coat up and out. Just because I want to get that beautiful, beautiful height into the coat. I'm just going to switch this off. Now, instead of that, I'm going to go back to my handheld. And I'm going to start to give more heat and more body. We're doing a certain haircut on Poppy, I need to give her body, so I need need to go from the in and out. Because I need to give her body into that muzzle. So lovely. Never hold your dog forcefully. I'm not even holding Poppy. This is all based on trust. Okay? Turn around, Pop. But that stopping and starting and combing is really very important, guys, okay? So I can't say that enough. You've got to stop, you've got to comb, you've got to brush in between, especially for the faces, okay? So that's it, guys. I hope it helps. I hope this video is what you've asked for, doing a, fluffing up a coat. If you want to keep your coat knot free, the best way is to honestly do a fluff dry. Sometimes when you fluff dry a dog, you could go a whole 4 days without brushing this coat, and it will stay super, super clean and super, super, super knot free, just by removing the curl from the coat. Now, if you wanted to put the curl back into the coat, then just get a little bit of a water bottle and spritz very lightly, and that will put the curl back in, but with not allowing the curl to be on the root. So it's more just for looks purposes, okay? So anyway, I hope that helps, guys. I'll continue finishing Poppy, and yeah, happy grooming.